All right, welcome, welcome. So today I feel like I am just out there giving my heart and soul. It took me quite a bit of time to put this together. This is the longest and biggest amount of time that I've spent in putting something together for you. And the reason is that I feel so inspired at this time of year. And this time of year is where it starts getting colder. The holidays are around, and it can happen that you start feeling a little bit more sad because maybe there's not as much sun, so it makes you feel sad. You know, I had a grandmother who passed away that really took space in my life as a parent also. And so she died on the 22nd, which was yesterday. So, we just have things in our life that we have to keep reminding ourselves how to redirect ourselves. So I'm telling you, I'm really, really inspired. I'm excited that you're on the call. And if you are listening to this and recording, I'm going to tell you that I'm hoping that you jump on and get on live because you're going to have a bonus today. And it's going to wrap in with all this information we're going to talk about. There's so many things that we can talk about with magically bring calm to higher productivity. And so we're going to talk about that and where that stems from and the information I've been giving out there because it really brings out 5 different areas of information that I've been giving out there lately, which is about food and about how you can do a daily ritual, how you can calm your mind in the evening. And so we'll get more into that and I'll tell you what that's all about. But welcome. Let's get going here. It's a little bit after 11. And as you pop in, I want you to give me a message and just say hello. I love hearing from you. All right. So like I said, I put a lot of really good stuff in here. And this is truly what I'm really proud of today is that I started going through all this information that I've been talking to my clients about, but I really haven't sat down and virtually really shared this. So here's the first thing is feeling inspired. So let's take a couple breaths, roll the shoulders back, and let's get ready for some action. And let's get ready to tap into the happiness factor. Sean Acor really affected my approach in how I coach people because he's from Harvard. Harvard has done tons of research, has worked with those people that all they do and spend their life in is finding out new ways to emotionally approach life and how to clear that out. So after I read a lot of Sean Acor, I realized that with all the sabotage coaching that I do, that he is the perfect guy to learn a lot from. So this is a quote from him, and I really take this to heart. This is something that I actually have printed up and put into my studio. So if somebody's physically here with me, they see this also. But it's happiness is not the belief that we don't need to change. It's the realization that we can. I know when I was younger, I really did not understand this. I truly believe that waking up every morning and feeling scared and being afraid of life, that feeling like I was not happy and there was some serious pain inside that I didn't know how to make myself happy. A lot of things that happen to us when we're teenagers or a little bit younger or even in our 20s because we struggle, that what I'm saying is probably something that you've felt or that you're feeling today and you've kind of come out of it, but you kind of, you have those tender times when you're feeling more sensitive and stuff like this starts happening again when you feel like you're not at your best. Well, this is it. It's the realization that we can change. And so each step incrementally that we get into, make sure it's a conscious effort to really set yourself up to seeing life in a different way. And it's a choice and it's a road that you want to go on every day. And when you feel weak and you're not feeling good, just reset yourself again, bring yourself back into this. And this is just a great quote, I think, in life just to think about daily. If you downloaded your workbook, you are going to see right at the beginning, it talks about like why you're here. And I want you to feel that I really respect you and your time because I know that I feel like I'm racing all over the place myself. I have young kids and, 8 and 10, and they're going to be 9 and 11 next week coming up. So, it just happens that we are all extremely busy. So if you're on this call right now or you're listening to it in a recording, I want to tell you I really appreciate your time. But this is the why. This is why we are together. And there's 5 points, and it's going to all come together. We want to really focus in on detoxing our mind, which is what the quote was for Sean Acor. But we also want to detox the body. So I'm going to share a stat with you that I've been sharing for the past few weeks, because I've really been focused in on this area with this 5 video series that I've been doing and the extra support I've been giving in this area for the month of December. It's been really intense and a lot of good extra workbooks and videos to help you. Also, I want to have real story and strategy of using this information I'm going to teach you. I'm not just going to give it to you and then you not be able to go through what I call the FIT process, which is looking at your life, what's happening now, how you can adjust things to really implement these new things. So I want you to also feel inspired today. And I'm saying almost like I kind of lifted my voice there because I want to make sure that you are just focused in on what we're doing, because if you get inspired, the steps that we're going to talk about today, there's no way anybody can stop you. So I want you to step in 100%. Even 90% is good, because sometimes we get a little sidetracked there, but do the best you can as you're going through this journey with me today. Also, how I drastically changed my lifestyle ways too, because to me, 5 years ago, I was a different person than I am now, and I still struggle with the side of the challenges that I talked about before, where you feel like you have, I would say 0, where you're feeling like the worst you can feel, all the way to that 10, where you're feeling at the top of your game. Well, I work towards being in the middle or right above that. Now, it's always nice to be a perfect 10, but being realistic. So I want to give you some changes that you can do right now in just your mindset. And so we're going to talk about sabotages. I'm going to give you a snapshot, and I'm going to do some coaching around that today, because to make changes, we have to all be on the same page. Also, 4 reasons why we need sugar. So we're not talking about the reasons why we shouldn't have sugar. Let's not talk about that discussion that we already know. Let's talk about the stuff we really need to connect with. And again, we'll do some sabotage coaching around it. We're going to give you a list of the sugars that I'm talking about. You're going to get a recipe if you're live here today. I'm going to put a link in the box so you can have a chance to click on it and grab it. It's going to look exactly like the workbook that you got today, but it's going to have a special recipe in it for you too. So I'm really excited. It has a fall recipe, which is nice. Also, we're going to go through the FIT process. We're going to have the 4 steps so that you can drastically change what your plate looks like. So we're going to talk about sugar. We're going to decide on what your plate should look like, and we're going to make those changes. There's 5 reasons why you should be here. So in a nutshell, seriously, how are you going to make changes today to magically bring calm to higher productivity? It is true. It can happen. First, since we're talking about food, let's just step into what the snapshot here looks like, because it's called nutritional rebalancing, and really separating ourselves from what we call a diet. So I'm going to be talking to you about my fall cleanse coming up at the end, and we're going to discuss that and the reasons why you would really, really want to be in there with me. So we'll talk about that later, but I want you to kind of keep that in your mindset, because even when you get on the cleanse, sometimes you can believe that you're on a diet and you're there for just your weight loss. But what you're going to find out is when you step into something where you get your coaching, where you start looking at the foods and why you're eating it, when you start looking at your plate and thinking, oh my gosh, I really need to have this stuff, and the reasons why, then your mindset becomes different. Then your life changes. And I'm telling you, it's never 100%. So you're always going to have little backtrack here and there. But the more that you get your education, workshops that I do, videos that I do, it just keeps you centered in the spot where you want to be. I call like the sweet spot. So for dieting, rebounding, and the cell cleansing and the maintenance. So dieting is literally you're looking at your calories. Now, most of the people that I work with, they will document their stuff in myfitnesspal.com. Now, I'm not an affiliate of them, so I don't get any extra money for saying, the location, because there's probably other apps out there that you like too. But I can have people right away start documenting their stuff, but what do they look at? How many calories they have. So if you're eating a diet where you're trying to be at 1,200 calories, because that's just kind of a magical number for most of us, and you're still gaining weight or you're still soft, then I want you to think about this, that everything that you eat is a story in your body. The way that you think is a story within the way that you interact and react. And so you really want to go in and think about how the food is going to heal the inflammation, heal the body so that you can burn calories more. So you can have 1,800 calories, 2,000, 2,600, depending on the food that you're eating and how you're eating it. And so again, we're going to talk about sugar and how you're going to be able to kick butt on eating and eating, and not feeling like you have to stop yourself, that you're counting calories, but you're looking at your plate. And then the other side is really focusing in on removing toxins from the body, creating the lean muscle, but melting away the fat. So you're going to also learn that since we're talking about sugar today, we're really not going to talk about fat, but let's just hold it here for a moment and think about that. If you hear anything that I ever talk about with fat, is that I want you to eat everything that has whole fat into it. If you cut food out and you buy stuff with low fat, non-fat, what happens is they cut the fat out, which is the hardiness of it, and then they add the sugar into it because it has to balance the taste. There's no one that is going to eat cardboard. So it might feel like cardboard after they've kind of worked it in their package, but they're adding something in there to make it better. And the thing is, they just changed at a cell level. They just changed what the food is that you're eating. And so our bodies don't digest it well. So eat the stuff in the most natural state that you can find it. Eat your fat to calm your system. And then you have your maintenance nutritional balance. But just keep that in mind, that there is a point where your mind has to shift and your body becomes healthy. And it has nothing to do with your outward appearance of your midsection by cutting calories. It has to do even with deeper stuff than that. On the left side, of course, we do not want to be, and on the right side is where we want to be. So that's that 0 to 10. And I want you to keep focused with me here, because this is still in the area of foods and the area of the way that we mentally think. But let's just focus in on the foods that we're eating and just the people, the way that we look. Now, I'm hypothyroid. I work with clients that are diabetic. I work with clients that love sugar, that haven't been diagnosed with diabetes. I work with clients that feel like they have all these thyroid symptoms, but never been diagnosed with thyroid stuff. So it doesn't matter what you've been diagnosed with, what you haven't been. What matters is, are you feeling good? Are you feeling like the person on the left? Are you feeling like the person on the right? What do you do that actually makes you feel like the person on your right? Hone in on that. Is it the mental strategy along with the food strategy? I would say it's both. But in your past, what's really worked for you? What's the stuff that makes you feel like you are the most vibrant? When you look in the mirror, mentally you're in alignment and not saying bad stuff about yourself, but you're looking at yourself and saying, well, heck, I'm looking good. I'm a hot mama, anything like that. I'm telling you. And I know us women, we have a hard time talking about sexy and about feeling really good about ourselves. And we're always one-upping each other on how horrible our life is. But I have a struggle, which is coaching people out of the sabotage of doing that. Coaching into that one-upping somebody on somebody saying, well, I feel really good. Well, I feel really good too because I did this. Oh, you did that? Well, I tried this. And starting to bring that positive conversation of that positive one-up in that way and not in a negative sense. So your choice today is keep on working through on the foods that you're eating, align yourself with what's happening with your world through the holidays, and finding the most positive factor to get you through. 2015 year is going to be a high impact year. I call it the high energy unleashed, because if you keep following me, you'll learn more about that, because I do have a group that's happening in the 2015 year. And I think I just said 2014. I have to listen to my video again after I'm done. If I did, I'm sorry. It's 2014, but we're going into 2015. So if I said 2015, I did it right. Okay, so The video series that I want you to know about, I'm not giving you an in on it today. But if you're here, most likely that's how you found me. And I really want you to go back and look at these videos because these 5 videos are intense. It seems so basic. They're only 2 to 3 minutes. They are with workbooks, and they have videos, and they have a workout video. They have journaling. Now, this could be so lighthearted that you could just look at it and go, oh, some great stuff, whatever. But to step into this 100%, you could use just these 5 videos all year and make it the best year in your life ever. Video 1, breathing. And you know, we deal with anxiety. We deal with having not enough productivity, energy, mind clarity, thinking quickly, getting things done quicker, consistently. So that 3 p.m. slump comes in. So video 2 is about getting yourself up and going so that you have no 3 p.m. slump. So it's a recipe, and the recipe is specific to energy, and you'll hear that in the video that you get in video 2. Video 3, eat and lose weight. You get another recipe, winter recipe, which is good to eat seasonal. Also, calming the body to deeper, longer sleep. This is so important. If you haven't tapped into journaling, or you've done it off and on, if you can give yourself a week of just doing gratitude journaling, then you will be able to realize how powerful it is to talk to yourself, to get yourself focused in on things that are working for you instead of things that are not working for you, things that don't help your day. The positive, bring it in, talk about positive stuff, switch the way that your brain is wired, and get into the gratitude. Video 5, you have a 15-minute yoga workout with me. I've been doing this for 16 years. You get to hang out with me for 15 minutes, and you can play the video over and over. I had a client here today, and we were doing yoga, and she was trying to do the yoga in one of my yoga workout videos. I call it a fit yoga. But it was cracking me up because she was doing a certain pose, and I was telling her to adjust. And she's like, yeah, no, this is the way I like to do it. And I told her, no, we're in maybe a left knee up and balancing or something. And she was in a total different position, and she was laughing because she just knows this 45-minute video that I made by heart, and she was doing that instead of even listening to what I was saying. So it's a really good client that basically is a very good supporter of mine. So it was really sweet to see that somebody's actually memorized one of the videos I did for them. Step in, 15 minutes of hardcore fun yoga. Okay, so this is about me. I don't think I need to talk too much more about this. You may not know I'm a #1 best-selling author. This book is really important to me. It's just the laying grounds of, if you were with me for 6 months and we were able to make a change, this is the book that you want. I coach you throughout every page. I give you coaching tips. There's recipes in there that I used as I was building the book to be in front of a group and talking to them and coaching them to the foods they were eating and why they wanted to eat them. If it was summertime, I was talking about skin and vibrancy. If it was wintertime, it was about the calming instead of feeling more agitated during the wintertime. So please get that book. I'm on my 2nd book, and it is almost ready to come out. Same title, The Fit Solution, but then it is 14 days to a flat belly, and it's specifically for diabetics. And that doesn't mean you've been diagnosed with diabetes. It means you're not feeling good. It means that your sugar levels are kind of going up and down, or that you love sugar. Perfect book for you. Okay, so I'm a blogger, and also I do media, so you'll see me in these different interviews. And then also there's Ladies Making Changes. So we're going to talk more about the person in the middle here, because it's just about tapping into inspiration. I want you to be inspired today, so let's keep going. A slide that I do share with my dad and I, inspiration of why I'm in the diabetic area, because I want to make sure that you know what my passion is and why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I'm here for you. And again, you don't have to be diagnosed with diabetes. It's how you're feeling. If you're craving sugar really bad, if you're dealing with high anxiety or high stress days, or you're in life feeling like I want life to be different, That stress wreaks havoc on your body. It ages your body quickly. You can have stuff happening hormonally because of that. You can have thyroid. You can become diabetic. I have 2 clients right now that are diabetic that when I look at their plate and the portion control and everything, they look incredibly healthy, but they end up getting diabetes because of the wearing on their body of anxiety. I've had a few years of anxiety, and still maybe it's the personality mainly works with that, so it's really getting yourself centered. Now, this is the stat that I have for you that is in your book. I believe it's like on page 4 or 5 or something like that. But 63% of us are sleep deprived. It's basically not meeting our sleeping demands during the week. But why this is so important is the reason why we are together today is that you have serious health problems happen when you're not getting enough sleep. That's the time that your body detoxes. That's the time your body resets itself. That's the time that your brain gets to reset itself and your muscles. But that's how it's so easy to get depressed. And heart disease, circulation. So if you're diabetic, you have double the chance of having heart disease. If you have heart disease run in your family, you could have actually weak hearts in your family, or it could be the plates that, what you've been eating all your life, and you're just still eating like you have as you were raised. In my family, we do have heart disease, and I believe that we were born with weak hearts. Not everybody, but so my life has been driven by finding the key for my personal self and making sure my circulation is going. And I'll tell you right now, and being truthful in what I deal with. So since I'm hypothyroid, and I'm really trying to work on clearing that so it's not something that becomes who I am, but I bloat real easily, I gain weight really easily. So if I'm not focusing in on thinking positive and feeling good about my day and having that power to make the better choices of food, and then from there really making my plate look good, I'm concerned about my heart disease because I know that runs in the family. So think about it, and this is your connection to being able to balance your body so that you're not part of that 63%, because you need the energy to actually fall asleep. And you also need the mindset where you're feeling really good about yourself. So let's get out of the depression, let's get out of anything with chronic disease, and let's step into it. Now, Michaela, I really want to share her story with you. She was with me when she was very young, and she ended up leaving. And she came back with an extra 100 pounds on her. And it was really terrible to see her go through this process. Oh my gosh, it was so painful. Now, her background is that she doesn't come from a really good family background, and she's working on that. But what's been really hard for her is that she ate to deal with stuff. She became a size 22 and maybe even heavier than that. But we have pictures of her when her face was so bloated. I don't know. Diabetes runs in her family. There's all these things that happen, but she basically looked like she was ready to explode. It was terrible. She's in size 15. I'm telling you, she's probably less than that right now. I just saw her the other day. Just an incredible girl, because she's an action taker, and that's what you're going to be focused on today, is just getting into that action. This can happen for you. And I love this quote. It's a Chinese proverb, and this is how she's been able to be successful, is that you want to do it in a team. You want to go in together. There's no such thing as individual. We love our independence, and that's really important because that's what makes us strong. But, the community is really important. The community is where you're going to, when you have a bad day, you can go to somebody, talk to them, and things feel better. Just saying it out loud. Her success stories for Michaela has been portion control, but I do sabotage coaching. So her main focus is, why am I drinking soda? Now she's back to drinking soda, I think. So she goes back and forth. Now, so that just sometimes means when you go back to something that your body is not balanced probably with the food, but it's also usually like a mental thing, like you're not feeling good about stuff. So, yeah, so I called her out on that the other day. You have to have people in your community that are going to call you out. You want people that are hard on you and loving at the same time, that they're just like, I want the best for you. Also working out, she's very consistent. She's been going for her walks every day, plus um, being part of the health coaching workout group that I have going. Also, she's changed her food choices, so she's actually eating more whole foods than she did before. Every day she was eating fast food. That's where she got to her size that she got to. First thing, of course, was commitment to herself. So I just really incredible. In your workbook, you have your section there where you're talking about magically bringing calm to higher productivity, and there's some questions in there. I want to talk about this because we don't talk on the other side of sugar, but I think you might be surprised in some of the reasons why we need sugar. But if you think about it, you shouldn't be so hard on yourself if you're craving sugar. But today we're going to talk about how you can step away from that, from the addiction of that. And when you're eating sugar, most likely you haven't slept very well. Most likely you maybe really don't want to eat very much because you're not very hungry, so you eat a little bit of sugar because it kind of just gives you a little up. There's that you're just not feeling happy, so you're trying to, I call it like a jump start. You're trying to jump start your system, so you're eating sugar. No, we're talking about something different. But why do we need sugar? And I posted this out on social media, so I don't know if you are out there checking it out. But do you know that it actually soothes your internal organs? So we're talking your thyroid, your liver, your kidneys. Now, kidneys are really, really sensitive. Those organs get hurt so easily. And it also is a connection to energizing your mind, because your mind actually needs those carbohydrates. So if you're on this high protein diet because you want to lose weight, and we're saying diet in the old sense, like just a diet word that's not very good, then you are going to not allow your body to have the highest energy that it can have. Your brain needs that mind clarity to keep it humming along. And your brain also has an insulin release in there, and that's how it gets the even hormonal flow going through also your brain. And it's separate actually from your body, because there's insulin for your body. So there's two things, and I think this was found out maybe 5 years ago, this insulin release. So very, very interesting, because now we know why we get hazy in the head. If you're eating too much sugar, you're going to notice that maybe you're hot rodding it. You're doing just fine, and you're eating tons of sugar, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is making me work harder. But then at some point, bam, it slams you. And that's what happens is your body insulin, your head insulin, just all of a sudden, too much is in your system. Then your hormones get out of whack, and then you can't even think straight, and then your midsection gets bulgy, and then your body feels soft, and you can't fit in the pants that you fit in before. So you want to think about how it really affects your mind. And then usually in this time of year, this is where you're going to get your root vegetables. And those root vegetables, let's talk about food energetics, about bringing that food that's been under the earth, protect it. It's a calming area. Do you know that seriously translates into how your body's going to feel? Calming, whole, it fills you up, it makes you feel good. So think about what's happening out there and the foods that are available. Tap into eating seasonally. Someone the other day brought me Brussels sprouts. Oh my gosh, it was so good, because they brought it off the stalk. And I had the whole stalk with me after they left. I pulled some off there, and I just started cooking them, and I could not believe how sweet they were. If you eat Brussels sprouts any other time of the year, they're not going to be as good, or they're brought from other places or whatever. I guess if you're listening to me in Hawaii, I guess, you really have more of a warming season, and not a lot unless what's on the islands. But the whole thing about eating seasonal really affects the way that your body feels if you're really in alignment. So you need that natural sugar. So we're going to get into a list. It's also going to energetically ground you, which we talked about, because it really layers out in your body the soothing, relaxing, calming feeling that you get. Because like that spacious feeling that we get, that we want to fill it with something. And because we're getting a little bit slower during the winter time, sometimes we want to fill that void. Well, that's a great way to do it. So I'll give you a list in a moment here. But you want to be able to also help crowd out the sugar that happens on the other side, the bad sugar. So we're talking about good sugar, bad sugar. We always have a pro and a con. I think that's how life works, it's just kind of the way it is. Okay, so we are going into the next stage here. So we went into how it's soothing the internal organs, the energizing, and it helps crowd out the less healthy foods in the diet. Yes, we need to do that. Okay, so what type of sugars should we be eating? So I already started talking about root vegetables and just seasonal stuff. So if you look at, when you're looking at sweet vegetables to semi-sweet vegetables to what I'd call like other vegetables, which is like spicy. So that you actually want to blend all those because you want to have a little bit of spiciness for the metabolism. You want to be able to spice things up so it makes it interesting. But look at the sweet vegetables, onions, beets, winter squashes, sweet potatoes, and yams. I love sweet potato fries. So if everybody's having fries, I try and throw in the sweet potato fries. I'll do a mixture sometimes so everybody in the family's eating it. And talking about sugar and just kind of focusing in on this grid right here, I'll tell you a story. I had maybe 6 ladies together the other night, and we were coaching in a coaching session. And we were discussing, I don't want to be always doing the one that's talking because I want to learn from other people and what they're thinking. And, I've been doing this for this type of coaching for 16 years. And it's interesting because start hearing how other people are thinking and how they get out of craving all this sugar that happens at this time of year. And some people were saying they take a couple bites and they throw it out. This morning I heard somebody say that they take a bite, and if they don't like it, like sometimes you love stuff, so you'll eat it. But let's just say there's tons of sugar all around. So are you just eating everything, or is there? If you take a bite of something, you go, it's just so. Do you say, oh, it's not worth it, and you throw it away, or what do you do? What's the stuff that you do when you're eating the bad sugars, the ones that is instantly as it goes into your body, your hormone system's off, your endocrine system, and you just feel like there's this big shift? What do you do? That's a good question to ask. Okay, so let's go into, but I hope I was able to share some good stuff with you because, I know one person was talking about how they eat a couple bites and then they give it to their kids. And I was like, I go, that's kind of interesting. You kind of open it up, and I'm thinking that you might think the same thing. Is that it's just funny because you're like, okay, but if you're not wanting to eat it, are you sure you want to give it to your kids? And are they going to bounce off the walls? I mean, don't give that to your kids unless you're not in alignment. I mean, that happens to all of us. Okay, so we need to talk about the sugar that's out there that we're eating right now, and how in the heck are we going to just rid this out of our body, and why we need to. There's so many articles out there talking about how sugar is poison or a drug. I guess I could say that too. I know that my addiction is sugar. So some people are very, it's called like a yin and a yang. Some people really like salt because they need that balance. Sugar for me, I have thyroid stuff. My body feels sluggish. So that's going to be automatically, that's what I love. So it's very interesting in this time of year and how all of a sudden all our body is doing is thinking about sugar, or there's tons of sugar around us. So here's the 10 steps, and let's talk about it. I have a list up there, but I want to go through this because this is part of the big picture of the workshop today. The more that you can feel that shift, know why you're doing it, and just all of a sudden making it feel logical instead of emotional. That feeling that we get when we go, I don't want to eat that food. I'd rather go and eat a pie for dinner instead of a piece of pie for dinner instead of a steak or something, or instead of vegetables. And so what the sabotage coaching, the way that I approach that is how you can logically look at why it's bad for your body and start thinking about it. And the shift doesn't happen right away. So we're going to go in a little bit later here. We're going to go into a grid that I made for you today that's specifically talking about the sabotages. and how you're going to work around it. So stick with me. Let's take a couple breaths and let's keep on going. So the 10 steps to rid your body is reduce or eliminate caffeine. Did you know that caffeine gives you the ups and downs? So on your way down, what was the biggest thing that I was talking about with sugar is that sugar is there for us because it gives us our up. Then what happens is our blood sugar swings. So now we have a lot of insulin in our body. We're feeling a bit bloated. And this is what caffeine's doing to us. And it's also hard on the kidneys because it's extracting the water out of our system because it's a diuretic. But then this also causes sugar cravings. And it happens more frequently. So if you could give up caffeine or drink less caffeine, let's talk again. And let's discuss the 10 steps and see how you're feeling next time. Number 2, drink water. Drinking water is probably the first thing that I do in coaching with somebody. And they may say, it's interesting, people will say, I drink plenty of water. Well, what does plenty of water mean? You know, we can say, oh, drink 8 ounces of water. But I mean, does that work for your body? I don't know. Most of the time, that's right. Most of the time, drinking water, 8 big cups of water is good. But it just depends on how your body feels with that. Because with not drinking enough water, your body needs to transport the nutrients. With less water in your system, that 60-70% of your system is water, it's not going to happen as easily. You're going to have stuff that's going to stick down into your feet that are not going to be able to circulate back up into your organs. So remember, there's a whole circulation that happens within your body. If you're taking supplements and you're drinking water while you're taking your supplements, but you don't drink it very much for the rest of the day, think about how that swings your body. Because if your body's not feeling good, then that dehydration, the non-movement, and the non-waste that's happening, which should be happening throughout the whole day in the process, the metabolism of everything, and if they allowing things to metabolize, well, it's going to shift it in the way that's going to give you big, big cravings. You know, we talked about this, eating sweet vegetables and fruit. So in your packet, hopefully you wrote those things down because there was a list there. And also this is video, it's a Google Hangout and it's also on my YouTube channel. So you can always go back there. This video will be out there. But you really want to add those vegetables for calming, but we were talking also about that it just fills that space. You know, sometimes we just want something heavy in our body, in our tummy when we're eating. And that space right there is sugar, but it has fiber and it's natural sugar and your body knows how to process it. It brings your energy up. If you don't have enough of that with the fruit and the vegetables, then that sugar, you need it for energy. So you're going to be craving it one way or another. Add the sweet vegetables. Also use gentle sweets. So avoiding anything that has a lot of chemicals to it, but artificial sweeteners. I was just talking to a client today and they were discussing about how they went to agave nectar because they had some kind of other fake sugar. I don't know which one it was. And then we were talking about agave nectar and actually how it is found that it's been hard on your liver because it doesn't know how to process it. So we've always said use agave nectar because your insulin doesn't rise and your body just doesn't really isn't really taking that many calories of it, and then you start realizing that, well, if it doesn't know how to digest it, then how's the liver does everything for us. So how's the liver going to react to it? So that's an interesting one. So we were talking more about Truvia and Stevia and having her family try that since they were already on like NutraSweet or something like that. That there's a little bit of a shift probably won't make that big of a difference. Also get physically active. Being physically active is vital to your circulation, vital to you not feeling down. And so you want to physically work out to balance your sugar levels. You have, again, your hormone system that will get up and moving, the endorphin kick that happens that makes you feel good. It'll also bring your belly more to a flat belly, which I really focus in on because remember, your belly, the bigger your belly is, the more that your body's struggling. I truly believe that the belly is a direct link with how your heart is working, how your circulation is working. And if you have heart stuff running in the family, if you have any chronic disease that has something to do with circulation, I want you to think about that and how you're going to be able to adjust that. So get the 10 steps here in avoiding the sugar downfall. Also, get more sleep and rest. We had talked about that because the sleeping and the rest is you're not going to be craving something to give you a jump start. And then eliminate any fat-free. We talked about that. First was evaluating the amount of animal foods you eat, because if you eat a lot of animal foods, so you're talking like, red meat, chicken, whatever, and that's your main area of eating, usually you need like the yin and the yang, you need a little bit of balance, because the protein will keep the body calm, and it helps you build your muscle and repairs the muscle and stuff. But you also need that little bit of a lift, and so you may be going for, you may not even drink sugar straight, but you may want to look at how much juice you're drinking, how much, maybe some artificial drinks you're drinking, maybe not soda, maybe how much coffee and what you're adding in there. Just things like that that may not be a direct link with sugar. But then you also want to eliminate the fat-free and low-fat, which we talked about earlier. You want to experiment with spices. Spices make it fun. So you also will kind of cut through some of the sugar cravings that you have. But let me give you some idea, like cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, cardamom, where you can also get that in tea, which is wonderful. What I've been doing is I have been doing a lot of teas lately. And it's going to be part of the detox. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit here. And then also slowing down and finding sweetness in non-food ways. Isn't that interesting? That's so holistic. How dare I put that in there? But seriously, let's talk about just the mental state that you're in and saying, oh man, life is so sweet. I mean, how many times do you really say that? Don't you just say, oh crud, who cut me off, or who ran over that yellow line, almost hit me? Who, cut me off at the grocery store? And it's the stuff that's just kind of happening in front of us and we get so lost. But how about slowing down and finding the sweetness in the non-food ways? So basically, if you're feeling good, sugar, you won't be feeling that you need so much sugar, because you'll be just feeling sweet inside. So that was my 10th one, and I hope you grab it and you totally agree with me, because all 10 I think are important. Another inspirational quote, I think we need this just to have like a little bit of a breather here, because we learned a lot through our time together. And so what I want to do is share this with you, and I'm going to share a link with you to get your bonus today. So if you're with me live right now, let's listen to this quote, kind of think about it, and I'm going to give you the link to, it won't close this window that you're with me. It'll open up a new window, and you can get your workbook, and it'll have a recipe in there for you. And it's a basic recipe too. So it's perfect for the winter. So Aristotle, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. So if you see a neighbor that, just seems like everything is just so perfect, and they're doing everything that, that you wish that you could do, but oh my gosh, they just have more energy, or life is just different for them. I bet you whatever you see is that they keep practicing, and they're very aware of it. And that is why things are the way that they look for you, is that maybe it's a habit for theirs. So if you can put some alignment in your life and what really inspires you to want to make a change, and what is that change, and then how are you going to make it a habit? So just practicing and practicing. Example for me would be that I feel that, like I was talking about earlier, if you were on the call earlier, you heard that I was talking about when I was younger, that it was easy to get depressed. I sometimes didn't even feel like I wanted to get out of bed. And that happens to quite a few of us when we're younger. So, and also, but it's just because, teenage years are hard. And then as you go through your life, you have big hiccups that happen. And so what are you going to do to be able to make sure that you live the lifestyle that you live? So it's breathing and really focusing in on what's going to work for you, what's going to make you happy. Repeat it is not an act, but it really is actually just a habit. So I'm going to share with you on the part of this. Let's see if it's going to allow me to do that. I might be able to just pop in. For some reason, it's not letting me click it in. So I'm going to try and display an offer here. So magically bring calm to higher productivity worksheets with bonus. So if you see that, if you have any hard time clicking on it, I want you to grab it. You're going to see the same workbook. It's going to open up, but down probably on the 6th, 7th, 8th page, something like that, you're going to see a recipe in there. And that recipe is specifically focused on calming your body with winter vegetables. And so I hope you enjoy that. So click that. If you haven't had a chance, I will leave that up for you for a little bit. So I'll keep that pop-in open. So that only can happen if you're live. If you're watching this on video, you're not going to see that on video. So, so next time, come in live if you're not here. But definitely we're going to talk about some more stuff. So let's get into it. Nancy Stanley, she's in a, everything I do is part of a health coaching program. So you may be hearing me talk about the studio or through Skype where I'll be personally training people, but it's all part of the program because you really need, you know, the physical workout, which is a component. It's not the only thing. And you need the mental focus where you're clearing out the sabotages, and you need the food. So it's all three components. So Nancy's with me. She's an entrepreneur. She's just a really fun, feisty woman. I love her. So she was talking about the food that we've been talking about. And she said, thank you for educating me on making healthy choices and explaining how that makes me feel fit, healthy, and better capable of taking care of my body. You know, this stuff seems so easy. It seems so logical, but don't you think, I mean, I'm probably saying everything that you know, but it's like refreshing when you get to have that conversation. You know, I've been doing this, been coaching people through personal training, through health coaching programs, all combined 16 years. And so I might just put another little spin on it. And but I'm telling you, I probably haven't said anything earth-shattering today. It's just finding the inspiration, knowing that you need to make the change. Maybe not feeling so happy today and you want to feel better. Maybe gained a little extra weight and you're like, this is it. I'm not going to be even doing this anymore. So whatever reason you are here, I give you 5 points at the top, but I want you to really think about that. So I gave you your recipe, so I'm hoping that you enjoy that through the workbook. If don't leave me though, please don't leave me. I want to make sure that you are getting the workbook. So if you have any issues by downloading it, I'm just looking on my list here just to make sure that nobody has said anything about having any issues on downloading. Okay, I think we're okay. I don't see anything coming through. Yeah, so grab that workbook, please. Okay, so I'm going to keep that pop-in open just in case you haven't got a chance to do it yet. So let's focus in on sabotage coaching because I'm asking you to connect and tap into what we're talking about. That we need our sugar. That we have the 10 steps of getting away from the sugar that does not do us anything except harm, and then how to step into something new. Because if I'm asking you to do a recipe that you haven't done before and experiment, I mean, do you feel like you really have time for that? So the first one I want to talk to you about is I have no time. Of course, nobody has time. We are so busy, and I understand it. What I want you to do is look at the space in your life where you're doing stuff inefficiently. Or maybe saying this in fear of starting something new. So I hope I didn't hit a button there, but maybe I'm okay that I did. But you know, when you look at your life, and I just kind of want you to think about this, anywhere in your life that you feel like you have half an hour. And maybe anywhere in your life that you're doing stuff where maybe you just kind of get lost in Facebook, or you get lost in, I don't know, in TV maybe. And maybe you need TV because sometimes it kind of drowns some things out. But again, the more that you eat healthier and the way that you think, the more it gives you that space to get away from, I have no time. Because you know what, you're going to do whatever makes you happy. So you're going to be on Facebook if that makes you happy. But what if you can really connect with a new recipe, connect with that you want to get rid of the extra pounds, you want to work towards your flat belly, you want 2015 to be unleashed with high energy, which that is like my theme for 2015. And if you keep following me, I'll tell you there's going to be a private Facebook group that you can be part of for a whole year where I'll do free coaching for a full year. So there's ample opportunity to get extra support from me. So thinking about that, I have no time. Also, I can't lose weight. I want to give you an example. I was thinking about this morning. I can't lose weight is, you know, like when You may know somebody like this, or maybe that you feel this way, and that you are starting to lose weight, and the scale isn't losing the weight. Like you're looking at the scale and it's not changing, but you're starting to notice that your pants are not feeling like they are so tight around you, and that your face is starting to slim down. And you go, oh my gosh, I just can't lose anymore. My body never lets me lose weight. And so, this is as far as I can lose weight. I want you to take a step back, and I want you just to review your habits and what's making you scared of being more slender. Because the fear of our body looking different, of people looking at us differently, that's going to bring us into the sabotage of just pushing back that no matter what I do, I lose weight. So that's important to think about. Why do you feel that way? And something to ponder about. So the biggest thing that I find with the clients that I've worked with is that most likely you're allergic to certain foods. If you're allergic to certain foods, you're going to deal with bloat more, you're going to deal with cravings more. And so the I can't lose weight is, let's flip that around and figure out how we're going to be able to change that. Also, I never finish anything. Well, I used to be like that a lot too. My biggest thing was that I felt like I just didn't have the smarts to be able to finish stuff. And so if that's you, or you know somebody like that, it's something that a bad pattern you can get into. And you have to really kind of prove to yourself that you can do it. And so it's usually the fear that you're not going to finish something, so you just don't do it. So this really comes in when you are a person that really sees life as, I'm doing something 100%. And if I can't do it, then I didn't do it right. So now I'm just not going to do it at all. And then really focusing in on, well, are you sure that you want to do everything 100%? Are you sure that you want to live a perfect life? The way I'm saying it just sounds terrible, huh? Of course we want to live a perfect life and easy. So perfect means that we're trying to strive for everything to be exactly the way that we think that it should be. That's hogwash. Throw it away. Get rid of that 100% or nothing at all, because you know what? That may be stopping you from finishing stuff. So I want you to take basic steps today and get big results. So what you learned today with getting your recipe, with the workbook that fully supported you today, I want you to breathe that in. I want you to take those steps forward and know that you have strength in your community. So if you have people around you that you don't that don't fully support you, just because maybe that's just kind of the people that you've allowed in your life at this point, things are going to change. And just remember that nothing has to be 100%. Losing some weight is not a bad thing. It's better for your health. People may look at you differently, but the sabotage is what stops us. And it's not about willpower. It's about our body and our emotions dealing with certain things. So that's your sabotage coaching today. I hope you love it, because it's just basic stuff, but the coaching around it is really calling yourself out on those things. So I'm going to put a link out to the detox, because I want you to really think about this. The coaching that I've been doing with you today, and the full focus of getting yourself making those changes, is all in the community. So with this, let's just step into it, that you want to be creating a lasting change now. Heck, it's 2015. Let's get into the winter detox. Now, this is people that are tired of latest fad. Do you know, to me, detoxes is not a fad. It's a lifestyle, and it coaches you to lifestyle. The ladies that I've seen go through the detox over and over again are the most slender ladies consistently, because you change your taste buds, you change the way that you are feeling about food, because again, logically, emotionally, you start thinking about things differently and what food can do for you. So I put that link out for you, and let's just keep talking about this though. Ladies who have issues with balancing sugar levels and noticing, when you have extra sugar, you start getting skin tags on you, because that just kind of happens with the extra sugar, the insulin in your body. You find out that you're aging way more than you want to. There's a big difference from when you're eating the right foods and dealing with the stress, to taking care of yourself and losing the weight, and really eating those foods that nourish your skin. Because remember, your skin's an organ also. Saggy skin, same thing we were talking about. Accelerated aging, eyesight. If you have high sugar, your eyesight goes bad real quick. And so it's refreshing that and getting your vitamin A, which is really good for the retinal area, and then also It gets the moisture in the eye. Well, you need vitamin A. Vitamin E is important. You know, your carrots are real important. And then you're dealing with you're tired of dealing with brain fog. And so the detox is a gold package or a platinum package. It's 14 days, and you'll love it because it's eating real food, delicious food. There's great recipes in there. I've been doing this for many years, quarter after quarter. You will have expert advice and support. Well, there's so much information that you're going to get, you're going to be able to utilize. And I'll tell you what, you're going to be able to ask me a question every single day. So if there's a day that you're struggling with anything, you get to have me with answering any question. And you'll enjoy community support. So if you're throwing out a recipe because you've really enjoyed something, or you're feeling a little not feeling good, put it out in the community. And you'll also safely boost your results using expert support. So safely boosting your results. So your results are going to happen quickly, but it's going to be safe because you're going to have a nice structure around it. And we're doing it together. Do you know every time I do the detox, I'm actually physically doing it too. So I do it with my group. So you have 4 live calls in the gold and the platinum. You have a workbook that gives you day-to-day what your morning ritual should be, how you should be doing it, and it helps you. You might have your own morning ritual. We'll do that. It works. And this is the link that you're going to be going to that I have in the window for you. Also, we talked about daily ritual. Gold package, you have your email support every day. You're going to be getting an email from me, and it's going to give you even new layered information for tips and motivation. You can ask me questions through email if you need to. Also, you have your membership site, 1-hour Q&A. With the gold package, this comes a little bit different than the platinum package. So everything you heard comes with the gold package. What's special about the platinum package is that you get 4 supplements. They're going to help you digest your food, going to give you your enzymes. They're going to help balance your body with the magnesium and the calcium and the vitamin D. And it's going to also give you that detox that you need for your supplement. For right now, it's $99 for your platinum package. So I want you to click on the link. If this is something that sounds great for you, click on that link and really step into it. You're going to be able to get your workbook, get your shopping done. You get 4 of your supplements: Detox and Cleanse, Calcium, Magnesium, D-Complex, Digest-A-Plan. When you come here, there's a link so you can actually look at every one of these. And this is the doctor's research supplement, and it is 100% food and herbs. So there may be some natural products out there that you're taking supplements that say natural. You want to look at the way that it has been processed in the manufacturing company, and you want to make sure that it does not have synthetic rock. So the other day I was talking to my husband about this, and tell me if this sounded like you in listening to me say synthetic rock. So I was telling him that some of these supplements, they say all natural, but there's a certain percentage that isn't natural, so they can say that. And then what you find out is that to glue it together, they use synthetic rock. So there's some type of, for example, how when you're eating wheat and you don't realize you're eating wheat because maybe it's just, used as like a gluing factor for something. And so you think you're eating something that doesn't have wheat in it, but when you start looking at the ingredients, it has wheat in it because it glues it together. Well, the same thing with supplements. Well, for these, for the Detox and Cleanse, CalMag, D-Complex, Digest-A-Plan, that's going to be part of this, it's 100% food. So you're going to be able to see every detail of what's in there. So your next steps to do is say, yippee, we got through this whole process today. You have a beautiful workbook. You have information, things that you can step into right now and do. So that's your first step. I really want you to do that. So the second step is, if this is for you, if you know that it's time to make those changes, that you want your palate, your taste buds to change, you want the way that your body looks to change, you want the way your skin looks to change, then the detox is for you. I mainly work with diabetic women. I have many women that are not dealing with diabetes at all, but they know that their body is not feeling good. They haven't been diagnosed with anything, but they know that the reset is going to help them with being able to make their body feel whole. The first week of the detox is clean, pure, cleanse it. Get the liver, get everything at the cell level clean, and let's dive into it. The second week is where you go in and you start eating almost like a plan that helps you to grasp how you're going to live for the rest of your life with eating clean. I have a couple of healthy, fun desserts in there, a great meals. So then your second week is all about just living your life, learning about how to do that, getting coaching as you're doing it, ask tons of questions. It's up to you and what you get out of it. So I welcome you in to the detox, the winter detox. Step into it, get into action, be a doer, get your body just the way that you can emotionally and physically look at yourself and say, I got it. This is some great stuff. Okay, so you have a fit day and you enjoy all the stuff that you learned today. I spent quite a bit of time putting this together. I really appreciate you being here, and I will catch up with you soon. Have a fit day.